Good morning, it's Christmas Day here in Cheshire and very, very foggy, freezing fog in fact. But quite pretty. Look, the sun is there like a, probably can't see it on this camera, but the sun's just hanging there like a pearl because of the fog. Anyhow, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, a tiny point really. I was looking at this book last night called In Praise of... fuck, I can't remember. It's something about chaos. But it's not about chaos theory. It's by Vizinczey, who was the guy who wrote In Praise of All the Women. That's where I'm getting confused. The Rules of Chaos. And it sounds like it's a quasi-science book, but it's not. It's hard to classify actually. It's partly autobiographical, partly novelistic, partly historical. It writes about Stendhal and different things. Yeah, but there's a really nice section in it. Actually, there's a few sections in it. There's a quotation which I've used over and over again where he says the future is a blinding mirage, which I just really like. But there's another quotation in it I was looking at yesterday I beg your pardon, where it's a section he's talking about reason and emotion in relation to violence. And he just makes this point. He says that if people only ever committed acts of violence when they're in the throes of passion, you know, when they're getting the red mist of hate or something like that, or jealousy or whatever it is, greed, maybe greed, but they only ever hurt another human being or only ever killed another human being or an animal or whatever when they were in the throes of an emotion. He says the world would not be free of violence, but it would be incomparably calmer, an incomparably more peaceful place. And I think he's right, you know. I think he's right. I mean, I'm not defending emotional violence, although I don't have anything against it as long as it's consensual. But so much violence is ideological, isn't it? You know, or quasi-ideological, like coming out of, well, religious belief or political belief, or some sense that that the world can be improved by rational means, which I think it can, of course. But the idea that the world can be improved by the rational application of violence, you know, whether that be waterboarding or crashing planes into buildings or exploding yourself in a market and taking out 40 people, which I read happened today, or whatever really, or just killing these sheep. You know, we can make the world a better place by putting these sheep in this. You probably can't see them, lost in the mist. But we can make the world a better place by breeding these sheep and then killing them and eating them. You know, that any kind of ideologically based rational violence it far outweighs the emotional stuff, doesn't it? You know, if those guys in that helicopter in that film that came out of WikiLeaks, you know, the collateral murder video, if those guys would only press that button when they feel angry enough to do so, as opposed to when they were just given permission to do so according to some rational logic, then you know, those people wouldn't have been shot, would they? They wouldn't have been. Those kids wouldn't have been injured in that van. None of that would have happened. Hi, Phoebe. See, Phoebe's like that. This is my dog, Phoebe. She hasn't killed anything for a while, but when she was younger and a bit faster, yeah, she would hunt down rabbits and kill them, and squirrels. And if she had the opportunity, she'd probably kill a cat then. She probably would now, to be honest, but only if she was fast enough. But she wouldn't like sit down and plan it first. And she wouldn't think, yeah, what we really need are less squirrels and less cats in the world. We should organise an extermination program, a pogrom for these cats and squirrels and rabbits. No. She just gets caught up in the heat of the moment, don't you, Phoebe? And off you go. You get the red mist or the bloodlust, and off you go. And of course, it's horrible. I'm not defending the cruelties of the animal kingdom any more than the cruelties of the human kingdom. But as I say, at least it's not rational. Someone told me ages ago when I was a new father, so it's obviously about 16, 17 years ago now. Actually, I say someone told me, I might have read this or heard it in a film, I can't remember. They said, you know, if you must hit your children, only ever do it in anger. Because if you do it in the cold light of rational thought, they'll never forgive you. I mean, I don't think I've ever hit my kids actually, either in the heat of anger or in the I say coldly and rationally, thank God, but that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, yeah. You know, my dad he didn't knock me about, he knocked my brother about, but it's kind of forgivable. He was an angry guy, you know, he's an angry guy, and he's dead now anyway. So, you know, so there you go. Yeah. As I say, I'm not arguing against rationalism, but rational violence, is that an oxymoron? I think it's an oxymoron. I do. I'll leave with the trees and the crow on the tree, and the sheep in the fields, and the freezing fog of Cheshire.